I'm done with tripods. I used to film all of my projects with a tripod and a phone, and it was terrible. Shaky footage, bad angles, constant setup changes, filming slowed down every project. So I built my own ceiling-mounted camera system, and today I'm upgrading it into a full sliding gantry system for better angles, faster setup, and smoother footage in my tiny shop. Let's get into it. I'm Jason with Kindred Heritage, and I make leather and wood projects here on YouTube. If you film your work too, you know just how frustrating tripods can be. My first video was a wake-up call. I had a tripod, a phone, and a dream, which turned into a nightmare. Try to work around the tripod, it's basically impossible. Accidentally touch the table, well, that shot's ruined. And each setup took a lot of time to get right. So I built my first overhead arm using a ceiling TV mount and an old articulating engineer lamp. I attached a phone mount to the end with a simple thread adapter, and the whole assembly is attached to the TV drop-down using this 3D printed mount. I even added a phone charger and a spot for an external light. Honestly, this alone was a game changer, and I've used it for every project since. But it still has its limitations, and it can't reach some of my tools. The thought of setting up a tripod again makes me not want to film those tools. So it's time for version 2. The idea is simple. I'll mount a couple of off-the-shelf unistrut rails across the ceiling. I'll use roller bearings throughout for smooth travel. I'll add a second rail for x-axis movement, and then I'll mount my existing swinging arm to it. It's basically a camera crane for my shop. My ceiling has lights and a gas line, so I'm dropping everything a few inches using 2x4s. It's nothing fancy, it just gives me the mounting depth that I need. Working overhead is a pain, so I used clamps as a second set of hands. Use whatever you have. The second person really helps here. Next, I added the unistrut. And here's where perfect alignment matters. If your rails aren't perfectly parallel, you'll fight it forever.
That's not going anywhere.
Here I'm building the crossmember that will attach to both long sections. It's fairly straightforward, it's just a couple of square pieces of 3/4 inch scrap plywood. I attach a trolley wheel to 2 corners and attach that to 2 rails. These rails are cut to the same length as the distance between the rails that are already mounted on the ceiling. Here I'm inserting the mount for the TV drop-down. This part is the same 12-inch by 12-inch plywood, but it gets a trolley wheel on each corner and the TV drop-down mounts to the other side. I'm doing this now because my situation has drop-downs on each side of the long unistrut rails, and I won't have room to add anything else to the unistrut once the sliding crossmember is installed. And all of this gets mounted into the unistrut that's on the ceiling. Lining up the trolley wheels took a lot of patience since I was alone, but I made it work. I added some simple screws at the end of each of the rails to act as safety stops. It would be a shame if I rolled this off the end. The last step here was to add the drop down and the articulating arm, and that's it.
Yeah, you think it's pretty cool? I'm pretty excited about it.
Alright, let's test it. I film alone, so previewing my footage matters. I have this old laptop desk mount, but the post doesn't fit into this TV mount. So I turned a quick walnut adapter on the lathe, which I used to struggle to film. Then it's just a couple of cuts, a couple of holes, a cord clearance slot, and it's all done. First time using this was a dream. Filming used to at least double my project time, but I was able to film this whole process with almost no setup time between shots. This gantry makes setup fast and keeps my shots stable, which means I record more and finish more. In a small shop, efficiency matters. Projects are rarely as clean and tidy as shown on YouTube, and this is how my workbench usually looks if I'm not actively filming. Most of the time, this is behind the scenes so the viewer doesn't have to see it. It's hectic, and I'm usually running around grabbing that one tool that I forgot, which can lead to knocking the camera tripod and messing up a shot, forcing rework. But not anymore. I've seen a few similar builds, and they all seem to be out of the reach of most budgets because they require tools that most people don't have, or they have a level of complexity that makes them daunting. I've linked a few of those videos below. You should go check them out if you haven't already. They're incredible. My hope for this project is that anyone can build this with just a few basic tools. If you film your builds too, this might just be a game changer for you as well. I was able to finish this build in just a day. So here's what I spent and where I got everything. Links are in the description. 8 trolley wheels, $50. 40 foot of unistrut, $40. Various scrap wood, $10. Various screws, $10. 2 engineering lights, $10. TV ceiling mount, $30. All in, $150. So tell me in the comments, would you use one of these in your dream shop? Anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time, get out in the shop and try something new.